Okay, welcome to this special Meet the Miniaturist. Good to see everybody back again for another Meet the Miniaturist. I'm very excited to kick this off, which ties very much into the upcoming Guild show, which is coming up. I have a very special guest. Her name is Elizabeth Gaul from Elizabeth Gaul Art. I will bring her up and say hello. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi,
Good
Darren.
Hey, thank you for being here today. I'm excited to have you here. I've been struck by your work for a few years. I've been coming by that table and I've always been like, wow, look at this awesome stuff. So I'm glad you're here to talk about your work. I'm glad you're here to, talk a little bit about your background, maybe how you got into miniatures. And then of course we're going to want to see some of that beautiful work you do. So talk a little bit about where did this all begin? Do you have an art background? And I know you're from the Cincinnati area. You're from the you're from the Philadelphia area, but now you're in the Cincinnati area. So all that, let's go to sort of like the beginning, if you will.
Okay, well, it's a long story. I'll try to encapsulate. So of course, as a kid, we love miniatures, anything tiny or giant. So there's always been a fascination. I've worked as an artist for many years, mostly focusing on early American, Pennsylvania German type watercolor, wood carving. But I was always very interested in the history of things. So I want to know how people did things, what they did.
Yeah. So did you studied art in school?
I did.
You did? Okay.
Yes, I majored in art. I did a lot of watercolor. Basically.
Watercolor. Talk a little bit more about the the history part and that piece.
Well, I used to do 18th century reenacting.
Oh, okay.
So I would, so that kind of my craft kind of morphed out of that. And also going back to my own upbringing in Pennsylvania German background. So, and when you're reenacting, you have to research everything. I mean, down to the buttons on your clothing. So
what does that mean, reenacting? Like theatrical theater?
It's reenacting Revolutionary War period.
Oh, wow.
So we'd gather at events and you dress in the costume of the day, period clothing, and everything, trying to be as authentic as possible.
And what would be your role in creating a costume or what?
Yeah, I was a Hausfrau. So,
and you
or a camp follower.
That's awesome, because I do Renfest, so I'm not to the level what you're saying. I know that is a whole subculture of people who do those. They're awesome. Wow.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun, and so I wanted to have something to do rather than just standing around watching military stuff. So, so I brought my wood carvings, my Frochter work, which is a Pennsylvania German watercolors, and so I did that for many years. Occasionally I would do something in miniature, but I didn't really get focused on the miniatures until the pandemic.
Interesting.
And that started with, I was waiting for, what are we doing now? So I decided to populate a room box that was an old clock case that I'd almost thrown out like 10 times.
Yeah.
And I had a table that a dear friend of mine made, Ed Schweinfurth, who was a cabinet maker, chair maker, Windsor chair maker, who also did occasional miniatures. And I had this little table, so I decided to make a room box around it. And then I realized all I've got is a table. So I need chairs, I need a mirror, I need tea set.
Yeah.
And I didn't want, as an artist, I'm interested in what other artists do.
Right.
So I'm looking at Ron Rhodes auctions. I'm looking on eBay. I'm looking at Etsy, so I can collect fine things.
Yeah. So that rabbit hole happened. So did you have an awareness at that point that there was a fine art miniature world that existed? No,
not really.
But you knew you wanted something better, or more artistic, more quality. But your
things that were signed.
And so the signature is what you were like. You were looking for a signature, so a handmade one. Did you say you had a friend who made the first table?
Yes.
Interesting. All right.
And so
Yeah.
So I'm looking for things, and I started looking for a mirror. I couldn't find the mirror I wanted. So I'm digging through, like, who are these artists? What do they do? And I found James Hastrick.
Oh.
And I wrote to him.
Wow.
And he answered.
Uh-huh.
And
yeah.
he sold me a mirror.
Oh.
But then he was very encouraging about making my own things.
Interesting.
So I'm no cabinet maker. So I started making boxes.
Yes.
You don't have to have a ton of skill to make boxes.
Yeah. But you also hand painted them.
Yes.
And decorated them. Also in primitive, what would be the sort of like the overall feeling aesthetic?
Yep, grain painting, very Pennsylvania German focused.
Yeah.
I have a few of those pieces around if you want to see one of those.
Yes, please. Absolutely. Because that's also, before we get into the shell work, that's first what struck me, I think, when I first saw you at the table.
Okay, so here's a little sliding lid box.
Wow.
Painted in German style.
And so would this be the style you would work in full size as well?
Yes.
So that doesn't always work out.
No, it doesn't.
But what
you have to adjust.
Yeah, and not every artist can make that adjustment. Did you find, was it an easy adjustment? What was some of the biggest challenges?
It was an easy adjustment, actually.
It was.
Because I'd always used, people would make fun of me for using paintbrushes with 3 hairs in them.
Interesting.
So I was always doing that with my watercolor work anyway. So what the challenge was figuring out the paint. Because again, I wanted to be authentic, so I wanted to use oil paint rather than acrylic. So it was kind of thinning it out to the right way that you could get it onto a tiny thing.
Yeah. Can I ask you what is the biggest payoff between oil and acrylic? I know it's original, that's what was used, but is there a difference in the overall look, do you feel?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and it's acrylic, it's plastic. So I try to stay away from plastic.
Yeah. So it's not
And I like to use the old techniques, the original techniques, the traditional techniques in anything I do. So.
Talk about that. What does that mean? What does a traditional technique mean?
Well, that's the use of oil-based paints, the use of wood.
Yeah. Yep.
So
awesome. All right. So you got into making these primitive style boxes.
Yeah.
And did you make the boxes themselves, or did you have?
I made the boxes.
So you made the box. Okay. All right. There you go.
So. And that was a challenge. That was actually more of a challenge because I had to figure out the graining.
Yep.
And, what type of woods to use that would be correct for miniature work. The thickness of the wood. That was my biggest thing. At first I was making things that were, too fat. They were clunky.
Yeah.
So I had to, reframe, okay, what would be the dimensions? And James Hastrick helped me out a lot with that.
That's awesome. Wow. He's iconic. He's an icon in the miniature world.
And I went and visited him in Maine and a couple of times. And
But there was a connection.
Awesome. Yes. And he was wonderful. And his wife, Linda, was great too.
Oh my goodness.
So,
so primitive boxes. And so, at some point, did you decide that you wanted to sell your work? Like, how did that connection,
I joined the local Cincinnati miniature club.
Oh.
And we had a show. So I did the show.
Interesting.
And I met Wendy Smale of Wendy's Miniatures.
Yes.
And I met Grace of Lockwood Tower Miniatures.
Yeah.
And I met Carol from the Miniature Society of Columbus. And the 3 of them ganged up on me and said, "You need to do bigger shows."
Interesting. Right. Because you could tell you're doing good stuff. And so the miniatures.
I wasn't sure. I said, "I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm not good enough." And they're like, "You're ready. Do it."
Yeah.
So I did Philadelphia.
That was your first show, was the Philly show?
Yep.
And what year was that?
So let's see. This year will be my 3rd year there.
So 3 years. So you're relatively new to the mini world in so many ways. I mean, I mean, did you have a dollhouse growing up? Was that even in your frame? No.
No, but my best friend in grade school did, and her father was an architect, and
Okay.
he made this monumental. It was out of bookshelves and glass, and it was as big as her room, and it was mind blowing.
Wow.
Um, and she would give me little tiny things.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I didn't
Interesting.
know about the wider world. I'd been to the Philadelphia Miniaturia in the 90s one
Okay.
time
Okay. Right. You
and
knew it
bought
was
a
out there.
chair.
Uh-huh.
So
So you hit the Philly show was the first show,
yeah.
the last 3 years, and have you done a guild show, or is this your
No, this will be my first year.
this will be your first guild show? Wow.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's great.
Yes.
That's great for folks who might not shop both shows. Now they can come and see you in Hasbrook Heights. Which
Yes.
is awesome.
Oh, I can't wait.
So, talk a little bit about the transition now to the shell work. And is there a name for the shell work? Is there a
Ornamental shell work
ornamental shell work? Now, how
or decorative shell
decorative?
work.
I
Yeah.
mean, that some of the work, I mean, all of the work they do with the shells is just beautiful. Talk a little bit about that transition and how
Well,
that.
I'm making boxes, and I
Okay.
thought, well, Victorians love to make little shell boxes. Let me see if I can make a shell box. So first I had to find tiny shells, which was not easy. And that lit the fuse. As soon as I made this little box, and here's one, I was upset. I became obsessed.
Oh, I love it. That is so precious.
What's
Oh,
up?
yeah. So was there a learning curve? What are some of the challenges you faced? I mean, that's not the first piece you made. Talk a little bit about that.
No, well, it's really like putting a puzzle together. So I make the box, obviously, and I'll often paint them white. And then it's really putting together a puzzle with shells and tweezers and glue
Yeah.
and picking each shell to go in its spot.
Mm.
And really that's kind of it. And then of course, I started doing research
Yeah.
about, okay, 17th century, 18th century, 19th century, what was shell work about? What were people making?
Yeah.
And why?
Yeah.
And a lot of it was women's work, which also kind of appealed to me.
Yeah.
These women, what did women do when they weren't really allowed to do much?
Right.
And a lot of them made, handicrafts or whatever you want to call it, but did shell work, wax flowers, making
Right.
dolls.
Yeah.
So it just exploded from the boxes.
Right. It sounds like a
Um,
natural progression. But what was the first inspiration to move to shell specifically? Shell work and using shells in your design.
I just I looked at a lot of images, a lot of pictures when I was wanting to make a box with shells,
Right.
and then that I just got so hooked on it that
Yeah.
just became it.
Yeah.
And it's really all I want to do right now is
It's
just just seashells.
and that's the thing. You want to be able to do what you want to do. And that
Yes.
shows in the work. It comes out in the work. So when you sit down and want to do a design, do you sketch it out, or is it all sort of freehand? You're like, this is what I want to.
It's pretty spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
So I'll show you a couple of examples. So here first, like with the florals, I start out making tiny flowers. I don't know if you can see that very well, and then those become,
Oh, the flowers. The flowers are made of shells. Each.
yes, and
Oh.
those become the florals.
You know what you need to do? Put your hand in back of it, and yeah, so that yes.
You see that? Okay. So the vase also is encrusted, and those are all seashells.
That is just beautiful.
And then, of course, we love everything. I love things under domes.
we love boxes. I'm with you on the boxes, but anything that puts something in a case is just,
Yeah.
and then make it a miniature. I'm very happy.
And I started very simply. So this is just sort of Japanese inspired.
Nice.
It's just a couple of flowers on that.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
and then these monumental flower or floral things. So,
Yeah. So it's not just boxes. It's and there, I saw a bust also. Was there a bust?
yes, I have
Yes.
one here.
Hear that?
So that's actually a Vince Stapleton porcelain that I
Oh.
encrusted.
So what is going on? Is that a tunic? There obviously is a headdress. What
Yeah,
is happening up here?
sea urchins. These are sea urchin spines going down this side,
Oh my goodness. That is just incredible.
and then just little tiny shells and corals. So
That is just beautiful.
these are a blast to make. I love doing
Yes,
this.
he says. How long does it take? I mean, is it hours and days or everywhere in
It
between?
can.
Right.
It can take a week to do a full bust like that. And
Wow.
she started out like this, just naked.
Right.
But yeah, it can take a week to do that. The boxes I can do fairly quickly, or the small 1 or 2 flowers.
Yeah.
What's also really fun about this is, I'm interested in the historical, but I also can take it into contemporary.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing these little contemporary, they're kind of it's like a sculpture.
Yeah. Lovely. Very lovely.
And I had a ceramicist, Dans la Petite Maison,
What's that?
Amanda. She's a potter in Indiana.
Wow.
So she made the vases for me. I asked her. So she custom made those for me.
Beautiful.
And then, of course, there's the ubiquitous bird bath,
Yeah.
which started life as a chess piece
Oh wow. That's
and a bowl.
resourceful.
So it's just kind
Yeah.
of fun.
That works. That's amazing. Where do you get your shells from? I mean, where do you find shells that size? I mean,
I know.
H.
It's
Take you.
well, you can do an internet search for tiny or even micro shells, and they're still too big.
Yeah, I bet.
So I
Yeah.
have found there's a woman in Florida who just sells seashells,
Yeah.
and by the seashore, and I'm landlocked, so in Ohio, but I do dig, but I can't get as many as she
Yeah.
can provide. So I buy from her.
Right.
I buy from a shell shop in New England.
Okay.
My favorite, most beautiful shells come from a lady in Japan,
Interesting. Wow.
which is getting problematic.
I know tariffs. I know that's a whole nother.
So
Yeah.
I also collect these. These are souvenir bottles of Bermuda pink sand.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And you
So
use
whenever I can find these, I buy these up because they can fill. The sand can fill and just be. But so here's like seashells, and I sort through all these to figure out which ones work where. This
Yeah.
is the tip of the iceberg.
Wow. I mean, you gotta have to be a little ADD.
I
Just
guess
much of
or
it to be-
something.
Separating those shells. Oh my goodness.
It's contemplative work.
I bet. I bet you. I mean, I would imagine it takes you away from yourself by spending so much time focused in on doing that and doing. It's just miniatures.
Art does that.
Art does that.
I think any artist will tell you that happens.
Yeah.
Everything else goes away.
Yeah.
You're just focused on creating.
Art creating. So, do you teach? Do you?
Mm-mm.
No. Have you thought about teaching? Because I would love to have a class like this. I think it would be awesome.
Nobody's asked me to, but
Okay.
yeah, I would.
Okay. And so we could see you at your show, but is there if people can't get to the show or aren't going to the show, can they find you online? Do you have an Etsy site? How can people buy from you?
Well, they can always contact me through my Instagram. I
Okay.
also have a Facebook, Half Blind Miniatures
Okay. I'm going to
is
pop those in below so people
okay.
can find you for sure.
Yep. So
So
I'm always an email or a phone call is
the
fine.
company name is Half Blind Miniatures.
Yes.
I love that. That's great. So we'll
It
make
amused me. I thought it was kind of funny, so I thought, well, why not? So
yeah. All right. So what's do you have a bucket list item that you want to get to? Like what's
yeah, oh yeah. I've got a million ideas.
okay. You
So I
wanna
want to do more of the shell grottos. I don't have any here, but we have pictures.
Wow.
And those are framed. And I've just made the box so far. And they're little shell scenes, also based on 18th century work. So I want to do more of the shell grottos. I also have, more busts to do.
Yeah.
She's naked. She needs shells. I
Yeah.
want to do a table.
Oh
So
wow.
I'm prepping this table to be all shell encrusted. Mirrors.
Wow. All right.
I also do these sort of whimsical things that they don't match any kind of scale, but I just find them fun. So this is just a little box with an antique frozen Charlotte doll in there.
That's beautiful.
So she's Venus on the half shell,
Ah,
frozen Charlotte on the half shell. But this is the grotto idea of just a scene, like a garden scene, but it's all shells in there. So I want to do more like this. I've got a little tiny one here.
yeah. Oh, like a Cupid doll.
Yep. Little porcelain
Yeah.
dolls, and then just kind of fun little fish.
Oh, that's fun.
These are all Japanese shells. So just whimsical stuff.
That's fantastic. So maybe we'll see you in Chicago as well. I mean, do you have? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this will be so next year will be my second
Oh, so you've been to Chicago?
competition. Yeah, 1 year. That was my first year. Was this year?
Okay. So if we don't see you at the Guild Show or at Philly, we can see you in Chicago in 2026.
Yes.
That's
right.
fantastic. Well, thank you for chatting with me today and sharing.
Thank you so much.
Work. This has been awesome, and I'll see you next month.
All
Or
right.
4 weeks, actually. It's almost
Couple of weeks.
All right. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Darren.
Bye.
Bye bye.